Hey gang, today we are in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. We're just actually to the west of Stevens Point in north central Wisconsin. We're at a cemetery called Forest Hill, and I wanted to make this stop to share a story, a very unfortunate story of a 21-year-old young woman who was killed in a hunting accident back in 1952. Only 21 years old, and her name was Margaret Baker. We're going to take a walk to her grave. I want to thank Jake, who I think lives up this way, who suggested the story. So let's take a walk. It's a beautiful, beautiful old cemetery here. And I'll tell you the story. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually read you the story, as I do from time to time, from the newspaper article where this report came to back in 1952. And the headline was, "Hunting Accident is Fatal to Girl 21." A 21-year-old Wisconsin Rapids girl was fatally wounded Saturday afternoon when a gun she held accidentally fired, the bullet striking her heart. The victim was Miss Margaret Baker, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. George R. Baker, 820 1st Street North, and a teacher in Waukesha County. Now, the mishap occurred about 5 p.m. Saturday in Portage County, approximately 6 miles northeast of Wisconsin Rapids. And by the way, I happen to know that's Plover. As Miss Baker was sitting in the auto of Richard Acott, 25 years old, Route 1, whom she had accompanied on a hunting trip. No inquest, it is said. John Didskoski, Portage County coroner, termed her death accidental and said that no inquest would be held. He said that Miss Baker died almost instantly as the bullet, fired from a .22 long rifle cartridge, entered her chest and punctured her heart, lodging in her back. Wood County authorities said that the accident occurred as Acott and Miss Baker were returning from hunting. They quoted Acott as saying that he had stopped on a town road to shoot at a squirrel, and on returning to the car, he ejected the shells from the gun, he said. And the automatic rifle, the .22, he handed to Miss Baker as he was putting the stock in a gun case. One shell remained unnoticed in the gun. Authorities surmised that it was fired as Miss Baker was placing the barrel between her knees on the floor. So very, very unfortunate. We all know about gun safety. Never point a gun at anything you do not want to destroy, is how the saying goes. And, you know, I always look at it, you know, you guys know I'm concealed carry, and I'm, you know, guns, I handle a lot of guns, and almost think of it as a gun, the barrel of a gun has a laser beam, or it's like a flashlight, and that wherever you point that light, there could be a bullet flying in that direction. So really a bad move to, and with shotguns, and in those days, those older guns, to put the gun back in the gun case, you would basically, we call it break it down like that. Stock comes off, 2 pieces, and the trigger is part of the barrel in that case. I mean, you could further disassemble it, but that's for a gunsmith or cleaning. And I mean, she put it between her legs and just didn't know. So bad job on Mr. Acott. definitely shares some of the blame. What a terrible accident. Of course, he didn't mean it. There are a lot of beautiful mausoleums and vaults here in the earthworks at Forest Hill Cemetery. This is the Daly family crypt, 1902. And if you see the tablets on the left and right, there are a lot of family members here, along with the monuments on the ground from more recent times. Well, let's walk over to the Baker family plot. It's right over here, and I'll read the rest of the newspaper article, which there's a little bit more left. After the shot, of course, the title, "Rushed to the Hospital." Acott told police that after the shot, he grabbed the rifle and threw it out of the car, then drove to Riverview Hospital. The victim was pronounced dead on arrival. Margaret Ellen Baker was born in Frederick, Maryland on May 5th, 1931. Peggy, as she was known to her friends, graduated from Lincoln High School with the class of 1949 and from the Wood County School 2 years later. She had taught at Nashotah since the fall of 1951. Surviving are her parents, Mr. and Mrs. George R. Baker, one sister, Mrs. Daniel Sorensen, Portland, Oregon, and two aunts, Miss Fanny Reagan, or Ragan, Frederick, Maryland, and Miss Margaret Ragan, Wisconsin Rapids. Miss Baker was past honor queen of Bethel number 23, Jobs Daughters, and a member of Rainbow Chapter number 87, Order of Eastern Star. Funeral arrangements, which are in the charge of the Baker mortuary, have not been completed pending word from relatives. And yes, the Baker mortuary was that family. And sadly, it was her father who had to prepare her body. And we have arrived at the Baker family plot, and this happens to be the memorial for Margaret, and also I believe her parents, all together in this one beautiful, looks like marble monument right here. Very sad story, and what a beautiful woman. You look at the picture, just a mesmerizing picture in my opinion. It's a beautiful monument, and I imagine she is buried right between her parents, George R. and Rachel. Before we take a closer look, let's take a quick look around here. I found it interesting, this massive stone, looks like granite monument, marking the plot, the family plot of this very large family. All of these stones here are from the Bakers, they had to be pioneers of this area. As I look down, there are some very old stones. This one is illegible, but looking at the dates here, especially this mother and father, we've got January 24th, 1918, but look at the birth date, October 28th, 1847. So mid-1800s, father going back further. 1843, so it was probably in the 1860s or 70s, 20 or 30 years old. They were probably the first ones here, and I'll bet this one may go back earlier, who knows. But these are all Bakers, 1881 to 1962. So let's go back to the family here, George, Rachel, and Margaret. I did bring a flower for Margaret. And we'll put that down right here. Sad story, guys. All the stories are sad, but this one particularly sad. 21 years old only. Beautiful woman. What did the kids think? She was a teacher. How many lives did she help? How many kids did she see through her grade, her class? Perhaps 100, perhaps 200 if you... Well, she was only 21. She was probably only teaching a short time, but still affected a lot of lives. So if I were to guess, it's probably 30 kids. How many? What did they think? Boy, oh boy, they must have been heartbroken. Anyway, the Baker family, rest in peace, and Margaret, hopefully you are all in a better place and your remains here rest in peace, undisturbed.